Hello and welcome back to Tabletop Dubshot, a live action role playing game with all baristas. I am Renee, your dungeon master, and with me is Bela,
Val.
PE,
Buka.
and Jordan.
Pierce.
Last we left off, our friends have finally made their way back home, or half home. But either way, they have made it back into the keep in Alcor, where they have been able to obviously have conversations and share their insights with the crown. As they're having this meeting, they were filled in on the politics and the political situation in Stacaria. As when they're approaching Stacaria, they are going to be there around the same time as the Conclave of the Nine. Conclave of the Nine being a meeting of the houses or the great houses of Stacaria, where they discuss major issues that are happening in Stacaria. The actual elements of the meeting are unknown to the public, but they will be arriving into Lenneth within the next couple of days. This creates kind of a small window to discover what's happening with Thell after Darcy's message was sent to Val, where all she was told was to come home soon or come home immediately. With that, they don't know if Thell's problems are tied with the Conclave of the Nine or if it just so happens to coincide. Once that happened, they decided to leave that afternoon. They met up with Hicks just briefly to inform him that Cavino will be stopping by with Manifest and Destiny. And with that, they headed off to Stacaria as they arrived there on a snowy afternoon. And that is where we are now. The snow is falling gently on you guys as the arcane bubble has dissipated. And at this point, it is probably just before dusk really hits. So there's still a little bit of the afternoon light, but it's already the back half of the day as you guys arrive there. But as you guys look around, you don't see anybody.
How close are the buildings to where we are?
The nearest building, which seems to be, as you guys are looking up, and Val would know this, but you guys are actually on the back side of the actual property. So the entrance, so Val would know this, that the entrance is, as you guys are looking at the buildings ahead of you, is on the opposite side, but the nearest one is probably about 200 feet away. For Val has already seen this, but for Buka and Pierce, as you guys are looking at the backside of this building, you guys are met with incredibly tall Gothic buildings. As snow is landing on the rooftops, it's providing a contrast as the white roof is a full opposite of dark colored buildings. Everything, as you guys are looking at it, is sharp. Even like the rooftops themselves, spires, the edges of the buildings themselves all seem to be formed to a point. And as you're looking at it, the closest building to you is about 5 stories high. The actual castle where you guys just came from itself is a lot taller because even though it's 3 levels, it's still built into the side of a mountain, basically, or it's built into the mountain itself. But as you guys are looking at this, you guys are just seeing this massive series of buildings that all have the same general aesthetic. You look around to a lot of cobblestone, very Salem, Massachusetts kind of energy as you look around, but it's a lot of cobblestone. There are these arcane lanterns that have already been illuminated as the sun is starting to set. But as the sun is going down, you guys are catching the end of light, and the buildings suddenly start to look even more and more ominous.
And the bell tower is where?
There actually is a bell tower, but it is attached to the front main building.
Heck yeah.
So you don't see it.
Wouldn't do to the bell tower.
I
Don't
know.
do
I'm like,
it.
of everything that I'm hearing right now, there has to be at least one bell in this town.
It's
You
a
guys-
school.
You
Yeah,
guys
You
look-
have to have a bell.
Yeah, as you look around, you do still, as haunting of a place as it is sometimes, it still does give you a school feeling. You don't really look or see anybody around, but you guys are also on the back half of the school property. And as you look behind you, opposite of the actual school buildings, and there's multiple. There's at least 14 buildings collectively. It's a huge property. Dormitories are included in this as well. But behind you, it's still probably about 1,000 feet away, is a dark stretch of a massive woods that also the trees themselves are pretty tall, but they all just look like a little scary. Like the whole aesthetic is very just creepy.
Do I notice Val's demeanor change?
Yes, she feels more at ease in a more familiar place where she feels like she is herself away and detached from her parents.
Mm. Okay, so we made it.
Welcome to Lenneth. Have you been in snow before?
This is my first time being in snow. Do any of you have another jacket?
Why are you talking like that?
You made me put my hands together.
You guys do actually have like it's only the one, but in the actual bag itself, there is an extra coat or cloak.
Yes, but I have a better idea.
You have a better idea?
Val would know like how busy certain areas of school would be. Would this be a
Yes.
time where people are busy and like not skirting, but like scurrying around the corridors? Would it be what's the
Right
density of the
now,
crowd?
as you're looking around or looking at what time of day it is, obviously you don't have like a watch, but as you're gauging the sun's going down, not everybody, because there are specific times where meals are had, but food is kind of always present in this massive grand hall or great hall area that they have. But this is a time when a lot of people would be off for dinner. And so
Perfect. I have some extra school uniforms in my dormitory. I think it would be good to blend in a little bit more. It comes with a coat too.
Well, then lead the way. Let's do it.
Let's
Pierce?
do it.
It's going to fit. I promise.
I don't know about that.
No, I have pant versions too.
With or without tail holes.
We can make a tail hole.
Yes.
cool. Do you start to lead him to the dorms?
Yes.
Cool. As you guys are walking, you do see people here and there. There by no means are you seeing large groups of people. A lot of the huge waves of people you would see is typically during the actual school hours. And again, Lenneth isn't a traditional school. It's not like you're going there for your math class. There are different courses and things like that, but a big part of it is everyone that lives there does come from some level of wealth or influence or power. And so a lot of different courses are taught there, including practical usage things. But most of the busyness does come from the actual during the day, like in the mornings and in the afternoons. But as you start walking past, everyone go ahead and give me either perception or insight checks.
I'm
Insight.
What do we get?
I'm gonna go insight. I got a nat 20.
Hell yeah. We'll get into that in 1 second.
Yeah.
Got a 17 perception.
Nice. I got an 8.
Hey, get him out of the way, you know?
Yeah.
17 perception. You notice that there aren't a lot of people looking at you guys. Most people let you guys be, but there are the occasional glances as you are making your way to the actual dormitory. And as this is happening, you feel like as long as you guys don't do anything to really draw a lot of attention to yourselves, that you can, for the most part, stay under the radar. With a nat 20 insight check, as you are looking around, at this point, the way that the dorms are set up, you have to, like, there is like a main door in the center. And as you make your way in, Pierce, you look around, and as the door is closing, you briefly make eye contact with someone. This short elven girl, really clear blue eyes, she makes eye contact with you, doesn't break it, and the door closes. But it seems like she was very attentive to who you guys were.
Another suitor.
But you make your way inside. Inside, it does feel slightly less creepy to some extent. As you start making your way up one of the staircases, it is a lot of rich, almost like chocolate colored wood. It all is incredibly well kept. And in here, there still are these arcane lanterns. You can tell they're still arcane light, but the light that they give off does feel like a more traditional fire would. It does cast a more orange glow. And so as you guys are walking around, you do see a handful of portraits of, people of different ages and of different ages as you guys are walking, down these corridors. But it does feel like an old academy, as they're all these older figureheads that are venerated to some capacity.
Val, are these your classmates?
On the walls?
Yeah.
No.
Where's your picture?
You have to have done something for the academy or paid a lot of money, more than a lot of money, or something more important.
Huh. We should get your picture on the wall.
I am so good. I think my dad's up there somewhere, but I don't
As
want to be
you
next to him.
as you lead them, you're in the third story of this 5-story building, and you make your way to the room, and so you're able to pull out your key and unlock the door. For no role necessary, as you guys make your way in, directly across from the door, as soon as you walk out, is a portrait of Val's dad, just staring at the door.
Oh,
Oh man.
there he is. I almost forgot.
I feel like Val doesn't even acknowledge painting at it.
No, she doesn't.
Because also at that point, you've seen it so much at this
Right.
point.
Oh, my turn. Hey, isn't that him?
Who?
I look at Pierce.
So this is your room?
Mm-hmm. I have extra clothes around here somewhere. Let me.
As you guys walk in, Val, describe your room. This is where
Ooh.
you've spent the last 5 years.
Yep,
Yes,
yep,
and I feel
yep,
like
yep.
it should be expressive
this
of
is like the
how
real
she's
you.
This is. It's so clean, not messy.
No, this is the real you.
No, it is the real me. Oh my god. Okay, so me in front of my unkept bed right now. Anyway, I think that this is a place where Val really got to like grow up, not have people working for her or doing anything. So she like actually takes pride in what she does. Honestly, I think it's a little girly. So the standard for like poster bed in against the far wall and a shade of lavender with some lace as the bedspread, some silk satin bed sheets, and just nice like framed pictures of like some floral prints around. And what else shall there be? A nice wooden standard desk that she would study with like a couple books like thrown everywhere, some notes, some candles, and like 3 or 4 armoires, because like the normal room would come with only one, but somehow she managed to get 4 for all of her things.
The room itself is a pretty decent size. I guess only Buka would know, but obviously not quite the size of Weaver's room. But it is an incredibly large room. It is able to comfortably fit the 4 armoires. Like there's never a point when a door of any dresser or armoire is even in the proximity of hitting another one. Like there's always enough room. The bed itself is massive, and as you're looking around, the room is clean. There's probably books and things that have been left since Val was gone longer than she probably expected to.
Ooh, can we also add like a fireplace and a sitting area too with a nice little like a deep purple velvet couch in front of it and like a little cozy little sitting area to read a book or something.
Yeah.
Very unlike Val.
As you are there, it's again this beautiful, incredibly comfortable looking, just this couch area, and right next to it is kind of the same coloring, another large chair, one that you can go like crisscross on it and still be comfortable. And the cushion itself, or the 2 cushions on it, are of the same color as the couch. But as you look around, yeah.
You guys can sit there. Let me get the extra. So I had an era of only wearing pants to school because, yeah, but the skirt's really cute. But I think you guys would prefer the pants. I think I have some that I didn't tailor yet, so hopefully they fit.
I will have you roll an investigation check.
What?
Because
Can I
these two
help her look for
characters,
pants?
you can help look, but there needs to be such a high number.
Uh,
Because you need
for
to
her to
understand
have
that
a
these
set
two
okay,
characters,
investigation. Plus
Bardic.
18 plus 1 is a 19.
Oh,
you find one pant that
One
could fit
pant.
one of them.
Perfect. I think that could I find like a pant that is short to me so someone has to wear capris?
I mean, anything on Luca is capris anyway.
Do I see that she's like struggling because she only found one pair of pants?
Yeah. Also, just side note, the pants are also not the identifying feature of a uniform.
I need the pants.
That Val, I have
What?
a thought.
Yes.
I'm thinking I just say what I'm wearing and make
And
it
put
seem as
the cloak
though
on.
I'm
Oh.
following you as like someone your parents sent with you to come get some stuff and then go back.
But why would I allow that?
You wouldn't, but your parents wouldn't let you come back unless somebody came with you because you were supposed to be back home.
Buka's
But-
trying to put on the pants.
They're snug, but they fit. And then honestly, you can find like a matching. This one would make a little bit more sense for it to be a little bit more loose and larger just in general. But there is these honestly like robes. It is very Harry Potter-esque that you could put on. Traditionally, the robes probably do go lower on Val, but for this one, they are not quite
Mid-thigh.
at your. Yeah, they're like a good 6 or 7 inches.
It's a cape.
But you could put that on. So as far as stuff that would actually fit, because the other factor of it too is that Buka is a lot thinner than Pierce
And
would
doesn't
be.
have boobs.
Doesn't have boobs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
No boobs.
No boobs.
You don't have to keep rubbing it in my face.
There's nothing to rub in your face.
That's
'cause
what
you
I'm
don't have
saying.
any.
Incredible. Yeah, but as far as the clothes, the pants are probably the most snug part. The robe itself like fits fine though.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Val, I think you also could potentially play it off as like, while I work for your parents, I'm one of the few guards that you get along with. So you allowed.
But we don't get
me to
along.
come.
Whatever. That's fine.
No.
I'm kidding.
Good.
Yes,
Now I have to
yes.
pretend on two fronts. Ugh.
But as you guys are able to joke around in this area, and it feels nice. Again, you guys are it's like massive room.
Would I roll another? Probably not. Insight, like investigation or perception, to see if the girl that I saw, was she in a school uniform?
And also, is she
Everyone that you've seen was in a school uniform.
That's
Also,
true.
if
So
she
I
is-
would be able to, now that I've seen like Val's
Yeah,
school
Yeah, that one
uniform,
you don't have
she
to
was
roll.
a student.
Yeah, like I don't think unless you're looking for something in particular, but as you've gone through the closet and seen some of like the work uniforms and stuff, that they were dressed similarly to the other students. This is crazy.
Okay.
We should have
I-
never given.
This is
We should have never given Bayla a shot.
I'm the new
No, this is
Kilder.
great. We should always give Bayla a shot.
I think we look great, and you look like a foreign exchange student that I have adopted, and my bodyguard. This is perfect.
It's gonna work.
This is good. This is gonna work.
You do know where Thell's cabin is.
Let's go to. I know a spot that is more secluded, and I also want to check if he's there. So let's go wander in the woods.
You guys make your way out, and then you're able to obviously lock your door and everything. As you turn around, standing at the end of the hall as you're making your way to the stairs, is the same elven girl that Pierce had seen before. Buka, you haven't seen her. Val, this is Merelda. We don't like Merelda.
I was gonna say.
Oh, fuck Merelda.
I feel like that could have gone either way, and then Renee saw the way your face changed when you heard her name, and you're like, no,
Yeah.
automatically enemy.
So as far as the politics of the school, everyone is, because also everyone has like money, some level of wealth or influence or power. No one is outwardly just terrible, because people know that you have to Like, even if you don't like someone, you make their life miserable in other ways. Merelda has made your life miserable in other ways, but has never outwardly been like mean. But you aren't blind. Like, there is animosity between you two.
Merelda's a mean girl.
She's the mean girl.
Not a girl's girl.
But you see her standing towards the at the end, her hands just in front of her as she sees you guys approaching. And just as you guys approach, she smiles and just says, "Valentina, oh darling, I've missed you.
I've missed you so much as well.
How's the
it been
family?
here?
Oh, so
The
good. How's the family?
The family is so well. So well.
Good, good. How was everything with your little coronation?
Wasn't so little. Was not so little at all. Everyone made it out safe, and that's what matters. And I
Wonderful.
add like the biggest smile.
They made it out. What do you mean?
Would this not have been on like a news thing? I feel like this would have been a news thing that like other nations were.
No. You gotta play it as oh, you haven't heard.
Oh, you haven't heard.
No, darling, please inform me.
There was an assassination attempt.
Gasp. She verbally says gasp.
I hate her.
That's
I'm
right.
clutching my non-existent
As she
pearls
says,
as well.
gasp, Pierce grasps his sword.
Darling, there's
And I
no...
elbow back hard.
Yes, please. Your help should probably mind their manners. They are making first impressions after all. But
I put away the paper bag that I brought out because I thought maybe she would have trouble breathing.
The help? No. You've terribly mistaken. This is one of my dad's closest business partners.
which one?
I don't want to tell you all of my family's secrets.
No, darling. I just want to get to know your friends. Go ahead and roll a deception check for me.
I don't like her.
I was like, oh no, which one of us is
With the
your own
way
business?
I got a
With the way
15. What did she mean? Like which business partner or which friend?
Which friend? Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can say that without deceiving her. Or wait, yes, the one not in the school uniform.
Oh, and looks over at Pierce. Oh, that's wonderful. What are you?
I also got a
doing here?
15.
What are you doing over here at Lenneth?
Just accompanying Val. Currently.
Your business partner came and escorted you all the way to school. How positively scandalous.
There is
Scandalocious.
a pretty big event going on here, if you didn't already know.
Yes, of course. It's been the talk of the town, as they say. But this doesn't really include us lowly people here at Lenneth. We're simply the meeting ground, since the space allows for it. And House Kazari, of course, is the one hosting.
Not very many opportunities would present to witness a conclave, even if it's from a distance.
True. Are you hoping to make your way in, perhaps?
I guess I've never been to one, so I'm not really sure how these go.
Oh, yes. No, very, very hush-hush. Very private matters. But I wish you the best of luck with getting in. And then, Valentina, are you also attempting to infiltrate the Conclave of the Nine?
Infiltrate is such a word choice there. You know how I am. I like to stick to my own manners, cross my T's, dot my I's. I think I will just, as the kids say, stay in my own lane.
Yes. I guess we do know how you are. Well, I wish you the best of luck, Valentina. It's lovely to have you back here at Lenneth. We've dearly missed you, but I will be off to my room now. Have a lovely rest of your evening, and I have a feeling that we will see each other again. And she, as you hear just the clip-clop of her walking down the hall.
I lean over to Pierce. See each other again. She does know that aren't you guys classmates? Aren't you like always going to see each other like all the time?
She's not in all of my classes. We have different paths and different programs here.
Oh, you guys aren't all in the same class?
No.
This school is crazy.
Is her room also on this floor? Does
she's
she just like go out of her way just to...
Yes. She always just goes out of her way to make my life miserable, but never to my face. Also, she called you guys the help.
Can I? Buka's like, right. That is there something wrong with that?
Yeah, Buka was
That's like
visually
one of the
not
highest
offended.
insult.
But I'm helpful, right?
You don't want to be called that by someone
her?
like
Like,
that.
it's just
By
by
her.
her.
So
She
I
called
think
you a lower class, basically.
I'm still confused. I am a lower class.
She called you poor.
I'm still confused.
You don't know what snow
Now-
is.
About I am poor.
It
I
doesn't
know what snow is.
matter.
I've just never been in snow before, okay?
It's
Nobody
really
brought me.
gross and like really inconvenient. Can we go to the
Snow?
forest now?
I feel like Pierce loves snow.
It brings him a little joy.
Yeah.
You guys make your way outside, and at this point, it's just that twilight purple, a little bit left in the sky. But at this point, it is pretty dark. But the moon has also come out, and at this point, still a little bit of snow, but some of the clouds have started to part a little bit. So not a lot of light, but enough to illuminate a little bit as you guys start taking this very, very underused path towards the woods as you guys are leaving the school property. And closer to the actual school, the snow was melting a little bit, kind of creating that slurry and snow mixed with mud and dirt. But as you guys are trekking further and further into the woods, not a heavy amount of it, but you guys feel like the crunch of snow underneath you as you guys make your way into the woods. You guys are walking for about 20 minutes. At this point, the trees themselves providing cover for any of the snow. But because of that, it is also incredibly dark in this path. Is there anything that Pierce would do or anybody else try to do to illuminate the path?
Pierce is the only one who can't see. I can.
That's still 33% of your group. So,
Right.
Can I cast light
yes, you can.
onto
Buka's pants.
Buka's pants?
Whoa. Your uniform is awesome.
No, I did that, Buka. So our human friend over here can actually see.
Oh.
So much of this episode is getting cut out. I need you guys to know so much of this episode is getting cut, right?
It's not. You're the one who said take the shirt. Okay. We're locking in. No. Instead, I would like to cast.
No,
light.
it's fine. You guys have your
No,
lap.
it's fine. I would like to cast light onto
His pants.
No, not his pants. I would like to cast light onto Buka's sheath.
Oh. Nice.
The light itself that it casts off, similarly to when you guys were walking down the halls, obviously it's an artificial light of some capacity, but the actual light itself does feel almost like a little fire. It's in orange color to it, but it illuminates out and you're able to see the path ahead of you. Obviously, Buka and Val being able to see like in the dark. But you guys are walking for about 20 minutes, close to 30 minutes, when you find yourself not even into a full clearing, but it seems that a huge amount of the trees in this vicinity have been cut away. And you do find this beautiful cabin. It is not incredibly large or ostentatious. You can tell that it was crafted or carved or put together by a person or two. There is a little smoke still visible coming out from like the chimney itself. There are steps that lead towards the door itself. And you guys can smell fresh herbs as there seems to be like a soup or a broth that is currently being cooked. But
This is a nice cabin. Who lives here?
His name is Thell. He taught me how to helped with my bow proficiency. One of my mentors.
Oh. Okay. Wait, that's the one that's in trouble, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We should hurry.
Yeah.
does Val lead you guys in?
There's steps leading up to the door, right?
Correct.
So I would cautiously go up the steps to the front door and I would knock. I feel like Val would have a secret knock that
Yeah.
would let Thel know that it was her. So I do our little secret knock and wait for an answer.
There's like a pause or two, and then you hear a very soft woman's voice. One moment, and you hear pitter patter, and the door opens up, and pulling at the door is an incredibly short little halfling, round cheeks, a brown dress that is just right above hitting the actual ground itself, hair that is majority brunette with like a streak of silver that's in there, that has been put into like a top bun. You see Darcy Cherryfoot. Yes, can I, Valentina? And then she goes, and then she jumps higher than you thought possible and wraps herself around in your arms. Welcome home, my darling. She gives you a kiss on both cheeks. We've missed you. And then as she's hugging you, her feet off the ground, looks past you and just says, "Oh, hello. You must be Buka." And other side, Pierce. "Oh, please come in, come in." And then she makes her way down. Please,
Oh,
please, please, come get out of the snow. Dry yourselves off.
oh, thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
And then she goes and does one of those as you guys. She sticks her hand out for like a handshake and puts like the other hand over yours as she shakes your hand a little bit and just says, "I'm Darcy or Miss Cherryfoot, whichever you would prefer. It's a pleasure to meet you guys and make your acquaintances. Val speaks very highly of you."
Oh, that's very. I like make eye contact with Pierce. That's very nice. Nice to meet you.
Yes, yes, please. And as she looks back, you see on his bed is Thell. Blankets over him. Looks like he's sleeping. But as you take a look, and at this point, like the room itself is pretty illuminated. As you look, you see a black eye, a cut on his lip, and it's only a small drop, but like where the sheets and the blankets are covering him, there is a drop of blood in his torso that has leaked through the actual blanket itself.
Um, are
Please. Uh,
is everything okay?
Not quite. And Val, she grabs your hand and leads you over. And you could tell there's already a chair that is next to the bed. And as she brings you over, she brings over another chair. And you hadn't seen it when you guys just first walked in, but there does seem to be on the bedside table, there is a basin or a bowl of some type that does seem to have, it looks like water. At this point, it does look reddish in nature, but it is steaming a little bit. And you see that she is changing some of like the bandages, and that there is like it seems like a hot cloth that was on Thell's head that she has been switching out. Looks over at Buka and at Pierce. This is Thell. This is a good friend of mine. I'm sorry. I wish I would have known you would be here with your friends. I would have met you somewhere else so you didn't have to all see Thell like this.
No, it's okay. They came with me and they wanted to come as soon as I got your message. So they're here for the same reason I am.
Okay.
What happened?
I don't know. I had been I hadn't seen him in a couple of days. It was around the time that you had left, maybe a day or so after you had left. I thought he didn't want to say goodbye because maybe he didn't want to get emotional or anything like that, but it seems like he had already been away when you departed on your trip, and I hadn't seen him for a few days, and I came to check in, make sure everything was okay, and I came in, helped clean some things and dust things off, and he came stumbling in. It it took a while, but I was finally able to get him on the bed, and he came in injured, but he hasn't woken up.
He didn't tell you he left?
No. Yeah.
Or where to?
They're not a couple.
No.
No.
Cool. Great. Anyway,
They just act like it, kind of.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's kind of like when, because they're both older. Because as you're looking at Thel, even obviously as he's laying on the, and as you're looking at Darcy, you could tell easily they're in their mid 50s. And Halfling's lifespan is a little different as well, but Darcy also does give the appearance of like a 50-year-old woman. So like both do appear kind of in middle age. So
Yeah.
Val would know that they are like they're best friends and they no romantic feelings, but they do fight like a married couple. But they've also have both worked. You don't even know how long exactly, but you know they've both worked for the academy for at least like 15 or 20 years. So they've known each other for quite a long time. She's like, I didn't even know he had left. He didn't tell me.
And he's been like this for how long?
4 days. His wounds they're not getting better.
I can call home and see if we have the best doctor's medicine or the best healers that our money can buy.
I mean, I fear that whatever he's involved with, if he didn't say anything, that maybe he didn't want anybody to know. I need him to get better, but also, if he's in trouble, I mean, someone hurt him.
Can I look at Thell and try to observe what type of injuries he's sustained?
Yeah. As you guys look, you guys could, if you want, pull like the sheets aside and the blankets aside.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do so?
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
May
Can we look at and see how he is fully?
She looks to Val for confirmation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I slowly pull the sheets down and try to observe whatever I can.
Yeah. At this point, has on some pants that seem to be made of leathers, no shirt on, but as you are looking at his torso, bandages are covering him, specifically in the middle of his torso. And at this point, it's on his left side, close to his heart. And you could tell, you don't know how long the bandages have been there, but they have already started to like bleed through. That's the most prevalent one that you see. But you start to also notice some other like wounds and scratches and like almost like puncture marks, but they also seem to be covered up. But the three of you guys are more than welcome to make a medicine check.
Let's
Kind of what we were hoping for. Okay. I
Yeah,
got an 18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
19.
19.
7.
7. Even with a 7, like I'll say this and I'll kind of go in ascending order. Even with a 7, Pierce, you're looking at these, they're kind of covered up. So, and I think you would also allow, since Buka asks and since Val obviously is a lot closer to Thell, I think you maybe would have provided a little bit more space. So you're kind of seeing it, still standing close by, but as you're looking at it, even with a 7, you can tell these are wounds from a battle of some type. With a 17, Val?
19.
With a 19?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What did Buka get?
18.
18. With an 18, Buka, as you're looking at the wound on his side and you're able to move the bandages a little bit as it's like sticking to his actual skin from the dried blood and some not so dry, you can tell that a blade made whatever cut on his side and it went deep. But as you're looking at it, it just seems like a fresh wound that even at 3 or 4 days, like it should have started healing. And this is a lot of blood. And already that is very concerning. Val, with your role, you've seen some of these scars before. So some of them are not a surprise to you. As you look at the fresh wounds, especially some of the other ones, besides this gaping wound, with a 19, as you're looking at it, it seems like smaller. It seems like it should be less concerning. Some of the other wounds, like on his torso, that are bandaged. But as you take a look and you lift up one of them, it's so minuscule. It's so like almost imperceptible. But you notice at the edges of the wound themselves, just it's black as it's decayed. As whatever it is, no clue what kind it is, but it looks like arrow wounds that might have been laced with something.
Shit. Would I
Based
know
off
if this
of-
would be? Oh, you can go.
Sorry. Based off of
you
what
go.
I observe, does it feel like people have tried to use healing word already? No. Can I cast healing word?
Yes, you may.
Awesome. I reach out and I kind of whisper to just the general group, like, I'm so sorry. Like, I think this is all I know I can try right now. And I cast healing word.
Go ahead. Tell me how much.
For 6 damage. For 6 points of healing.
Please do not damage.
I'm here to hurt him more.
Yeah.
As you do that, you see some of the wounds, especially like the smaller ones, they do close up a little bit. And it seems like it's provided him a little bit more vitality, but the wounds don't close up entirely.
I can also use cure wounds.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any effect on undead or cons. Drugs, though,
Well,
is my
luckily,
worry.
Hmm.
well, so it doesn't affect like the person itself cannot be an
Oh,
undead.
okay.
That's right.
But it's necrotic.
Mm.
Whee! So let's heal him for 4.
For
Yeah.
you specifically are closer to the wounds on his side, and as you put your hands there and you cast this spell, similarly the wound seems to close a little bit, and some of the blood flow seems to have stopped, but it doesn't seem to have, like, the blood flow itself seemed to have stopped, but it doesn't seem to have cured the wound. Like, the wound is still prevalent.
Mm. In the smaller wounds where they're a little black, is there like arrows or any like ammunition still in the wounds? Or are they like open?
As you're doing with the 19, you disgustingly, like, you kind of get in there a little bit. You've taken at least basic medical triaging, that sometimes you have to get in there to make it a little bit worse to make it better. But as you're doing that, you see that he winces in pain as your fingers have gone in and trying to see if maybe there's any part of ammunition or any barbed anything that might be stuck there. And as you're looking, there's does not seem to be any.
Darcy, did you clean out his wounds?
Yes, I did. I found this. And then she goes closer to the kitchen area, and then she has it in like a bowl, and they have blood on them. But you do notice the edges, and all three of you guys would recognize the end of like an arrow point that has broken away.
Like the arrow point that the arrows that she has, the point is broken off.
We just have the point. We don't have the rest of the arrowhead, right?
Do the arrowheads look general or like any specific marking on them?
The only thing you can tell immediately is that the edges are serrated, or like even the tip as small of, it's only like a fraction. And there's like a couple, because you had already seen there's about 5 or 6 of these what you now recognize as arrow wounds. She only has 3 of them in there, but you can tell even from the very tip of the arrowhead that it is serrated. But beyond that, you guys can investigate it fully. Well, investigate it more if you would, but that's kind of what you guys catch with that.
He was shot. Do we know? I mean, I don't know what life is like out here. It sounds like everybody has their arguments verbally, but do we know if
This
he has
isn't
any enemies?
normal.
No.
Darcy, does anyone want to hurt him? Was he involved in anything before? You've known him
No,
for a
no,
while.
yo. I mean, no. He left that life a long time ago when he started working here. But
What
I mean,
life?
looks back, because at this point you guys have stepped away. You guys are in the kitchen. She showed you guys where like the arrowheads are. She lowers her voice a little bit. Thell doesn't really like talking about it a lot, but he used to be involved in unsavory. But he left that life behind. It's been, as long as I've known him, he had already left that life. So he hasn't been involved in anything like that in the last 20 years. So
Did he belong to an organization, though?
yes, he's never told me what the organization is. I know, like I said, he doesn't really like talking about it, but I know they've made him do some bad things.
I mean, that's probably where he got his bow training, so checks out. But anything that you know could help us figure out who's trying to hurt him.
I mean, this is to help. If he gets upset, then he can piss
He
off.
can't be upset if he's dead.
Right. Yes. Yeah, he could piss off some, pardon my language, everybody. On his shoulder there's a symbol. I don't know what the symbol is. Maybe you all seem like very well-traveled people, but I think that's the group that he used to be involved with.
I go over
Okay.
to look at his shoulder.
He's on his
Uh,
back, right? We have to
he's
turn
on
him.
it's on his, so you guys are currently seeing him from like you can see his left shoulder like this way,
Mhm.
but she mentions that the symbol's on his right shoulder. So you guys might have to turn him a little bit, but
Yeah.
Okay. Thel, it's Val. I just want to look at your wounds a little bit more to see how we can help. I know this is going to hurt a little bit, but also you won't get any pressure ulcers like this, so we're going to turn you.
as you do, he again is unconscious at this point. but he obviously it still can feel pain. He winces as you turn him, and just realistically, the side that you're turning him on is the one with the massive wound. And he cries out in pain, doesn't wake up. But go ahead, everybody. As you guys are looking at this symbol, you guys see, before I make you guys roll, that whatever the symbol is has been branded.
Ooh.
Everyone go ahead and roll me either history or investigation checks as you guys are trying to ascertain kind of what it is.
Okay.
6.
4.
I'm so my timing is perfect. I got a 22.
Yeah.
22.
Come on.
22, or sorry. Yeah, 22 history.
This would check out though.
This
Right.
honestly does check out. Pierce, as you are looking at this symbol, Buka and Val, you guys see it, and also you could tell at this point it's like an older, like you can tell it's an older brand. Like it's from at this point over 2 decades ago. But as you're looking at it, the actual symbol itself is it's like a cracked halo that is behind a blade. So like what would have been a halo, almost like a sword went through it and then cracked like that. That has been branded on him. Pierce, you've dealt with people from this organization or this group of. It is a group known as the Children of Mercy. They are incredibly violent. Mercenaries for hire, typically tasked with being either bodyguards or honestly, even beyond that, they are typically tasked with attacking villages, usually by some like warlords. But they are incredibly prevalent in like war-torn areas where people are willing to do whatever they need to win. So the Children of Mercy are just known for their very violent way of handling things.
When I encountered them, was it, I'm assuming during my time in the military, but was it in the East? Or, okay, so which this probably means either one, they're everywhere, or Thell is here to get away from where Children of Mercy are more prevalent, which is in the East.
Yeah. As you're looking at it, and then I think you kind of, even before you share anything, Darcy speaks up and just says, I mean, whatever Thell was involved with, he told me that he didn't want to do or live that life anymore. He left, and that's how he ended up here. I know he's far from home. I'm not sure exactly where he's from. He doesn't really talk about his past, but he stopped pressing. But
Sure. Do you know if he's, I mean, I know you don't know exactly, but do you know if he's from the East?
just nuts.
And would I, for the DM, would I know, with how much I know about this group, would they be everywhere, or would I know that they're only in the East?
They're only on the East.
Okay.
Like
So
even
coming
seeing this
here, he theoretically wouldn't encounter anybody else from this group. Right?
Yeah. So as you're putting those pieces 2 and 2, and obviously you can share what you know with like, I mean, I think putting 2 and 2 together, it's like cool. Like, how do you get away as far as possible from this crazy bloodthirsty group? It's like you cross an ocean.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I take a look around the house a little bit?
Oh, no, not at all.
I would like to look in all the places that Buka would hide things.
Go ahead. Question for Buka, which is higher,
Yeah.
your perception or your insight or your investigation? Sorry.
Perception.
Go ahead and roll perception with advantage.
Nice. That is a 23 on the first roll.
Hell yeah. No, 20.
Hey.
A natural 20. 24.
As you are looking around, there's a couple spots that come to mind for Buka as someone that has had to hide things before. You don't think that Thell has necessarily the same roguish nature that Buka has, but there are some places that do come to mind. First one is in the kitchen where you're standing. You look through some of the most obvious spots as you look through some of like the drawers and cabinets. Don't find anything. Look underneath the bed. Don't find anything. But some part of your brain is when you guys first walked in, it was very imperceptible, but just the original step inside, it just felt a little bit off. And so you go towards like where the front door is, and you feel it again on like one or two of the floorboards, and you have like a little dagger. You're able to pick it apart. You lift up, and they come off pretty easily. And as you look, you can see that there is a little fake area where they can hide things. And as you look inside there, it seems to be filled with hay or straw or things like that. But you do find a short sword, like a gladius almost, that a cheap sword that would be easily like mass produced. There's no crossguard, but on the actual hilt itself, it's like a leather bound one. You see the same symbol that's been like branded into the hilt itself, and then you also see letters.
How many?
2.
I pull everything out and put the floorboard back. I hold out the 2 letters and kind of let the sword dangle in my other hand. Should we open these? Does it look open and read and then tucked away, or does it look unopened?
It does look open.
Okay. Should we maybe read these?
I think so. Secrets are preventing this man from living, so let's no privacy.
Okay. I hand them to Pierce.
Oh, do you read them, or do you like read them out to the group?
I think I read them. I don't think I would read them out loud. I think at this point, while Buka was looking for just like whatever he might find, I would have at least attempted to, really just like express as concerned of a look as I can make to Val, trying not to let Darcy see. Like essentially after I recognize that this like brand is for Children of Mercy, knowing that I know who they are.
Yeah. I mean, she's with you guys the whole time. So she's anything that you've shared with the group, she like the
Well, yeah,
Academy itself-
I asked some questions, but I personally, as Pierce, hasn't said anything of like what you told me as a DM out loud yet.
Do I have to perceive Pierce looking at me and then looking at the branding and then looking back at me and looking shook?
I mean, I think everyone's just staring at Pierce at this point. Like
Yeah,
you guys, there's no hiding that the letters and the sword and stuff. So
yeah, but I think I'm gonna read them
okay.
to myself first.
Okay. As you read it, they seem to be love letters or letters to like a loved one. Less as you're going through them, they seem to be less like romantical, like I yearn for you kind of thing, but it seems like a significant other, spouse or a friend or something. But they are 2 different handwritings as you're reading them, and then one seems to be a letter 2, and then the other one seems to be a response.
Can I tell how like old these letters are?
They even looking at the paper, you can tell the edges have started to like fray a little bit.
I think after reading them, I would just hand them to Val.
Val, do you just read them out, or do you read them to yourself, or?
Darcy, how comfortable are you with knowing his past?
If it saves him, anything.
Are you okay with me sharing what's in these letters with you?
I mean, if I had to, yeah, yes, of course. I mean, I'm if they're letters, then they might have been to his old wife. I know he was married before.
Yeah. Okay. I'll read them then to everyone.
The first one you read seems to be basically from her to him. And as you read it, just says, "My dearest, I read your words by the lantern light. You always write like you fought, bold with no hesitation. You speak of regrets, but if you only knew the way I speak your name into every quiet room, just expecting to see you there. If you return, I will not ask you where you've been or what you had to do. I will simply take your hand and lead you home. Come back if you can. But if you cannot know this, you were loved in full, and you still are."
No name?
Her name is Isara, Ysara. And then you read what seems to be either the letter before or the letter after, but it seems like that they were in response to each other. "Dearest Isara, if this letter finds you, then I have done what I must, be it brave or foolish. I leave that to the bards to decide. This is the morning before the march. The sky is the color of steel, and I thought of you and how I miss you. They call us warriors, but They don't see the things that we have to do to fight. I have fought men and monsters, but the hardest thing to do is face not seeing you. If I return, I will carry you in the stories that I have garnered on this trip. If I do not know this, my final thoughts were not of war nor of honor, but they were of you, Thell.
Does it look like he ever sent it?
It doesn't look like his response was sent.
I'm crying.
Darcy's crying in the back.
Who knew he had such a big heart and capable of emotions?
I
Did
think while she's reading the letters, I'm kind of playing around with the sword a little bit, just trying to distract myself, but also seeing if it looks like a really common sword.
Yeah, like as
Is
far as the
it-
sword
yeah.
itself,
Yeah.
like there's nothing seem to. I mean, you can make checks if you want.
Yeah.
But it does. It genuinely just seems like an old
normal
blade.
sword.
Even at this point, incredibly unkept. Like the edge, you can tell has been dulled. But the only thing that is unique with it is the symbol of the broken halo with a sword through it.
Yeah. Is it on the pommel?
Mhm.
Or yeah. Okay.
Does Pierce share what he knows, or is he going to hold on to it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna share really more or less with Darcy about the Children of Mercy. I will save that for when she's not in the room.
Well, I think we know he was loved, but we didn't have to read these letters to know that. As I look at Val and Darcy, do we think this group had anything to do with his injuries?
The war that he was fighting?
Do you guys think whatever he was involved with caught up with him?
That's what it maybe sounds like. Well, it sounds like he didn't want to leave, but had to.
I don't know. He didn't talk about his past.
Right.
Sounds like he left that behind a long time ago. Seems, I mean, I guess not necessarily unlikely, but it seems odd that it would be catching up to him now.
Well, maybe when's the last time they had a conclave?
6 or 7 years ago, I think.
Where
I'm not. It wasn't here though. Last time it was further up north.
okay. Do you think any of the families have ties to this group?
I mean, I couldn't even venture. I mean, I don't even know what group or organization this is, but I mean, they're far. Thell's not from here,
Right.
and so the wars he was involved with were. I mean, I know he didn't live in Stakaria at the time, so.
Would I know if this group had any ties to Stakaria?
With that history check from earlier, for everything that you know about them, no. I mean, you haven't really like. They're also like a fringe group. Like they're kind of bloody and they're kind of crazy, but for that reason,
Right.
even like they're not being hired all the time. Like,
Right. They're a
Right.
little extremist.
yeah, like they're if anything, their biggest issue or the biggest thing that they cause while in Ulxa is that they're kind of like just roving killers. They'll find like small towns and just decimate them and take everything and then just move on.
Okay. Well, if his troubles are far away, then I guess either they caught up or he has new troubles.
Maybe. I mean, regardless of whatever it is, if we don't find out what's wrong with him right now, I don't think he has much. And you guys look back and again, still unconscious, hasn't woken up in the last 4 days and just incredibly shallow breathing.
Right. Do you think that Buka would have experienced this type of injury before? Is it akin to any type of sickness that he's seen?
As you're looking at it, you have a feeling that as Val's pointed out, the necrosis, whatever has caused this has been some poison. So you don't think it's necessarily like an illness. But you also had a really high medicine check.
Mm-hmm.
You have a feeling that whatever poison was in those arrowheads has prevented the other wound from healing.
Right. Okay.
So whatever it is, it's a poison that's still coursing.
It's still alive right now. Okay. So it feels like poison. Do we know anybody that can cleanse poison?
There has to be a professor or someone.
Yes. No. I mean, there's a Darcy kind of as you say this. There's a few. Do you think this is poison?
It feels like it. Yeah.
I'm not. I mean, these are things I'm not skilled in. I just thought. I mean, it's a bad injury. I thought it was just not healing well. But I mean, if it's a poison, then we could probably investigate it.
Okay. Well, let's do that.
As you guys are going, go ahead and give me one last medicine check.
Medicine. 17.
I got a 5.
Hmm.
I'm just so sad and crying.
Apparently, this time I actually took a real look. I got a 19.
19. Buka and Pierce, as you guys are taking a look, this level of damage that it's caused by the arrowheads,
Mm-hmm.
I think has you guys a little bit kind of curious, and you guys are looking at it. And as you guys are taking a closer look, I think especially because Pierce, you got what, a 19?
19.
You've seen stuff like this like before. It doesn't, obviously not necessarily all the time, but as you guys are looking at it, Buka, you've seen an illness similar to this. I don't think you've seen something exactly like this. Some herbs and things like that that might have a help in it. Things that you could honestly buy at a market, probably not like in every. It would have to probably be like a nice apothecary, something that does have herbs that are out of the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Pierce, I don't know if you necessarily would know how to cure this, so this is kind of like the dual part of it. But as you're looking at it, the necrosis does remind you of injuries that you had seen in some battles, and some of the locals, at least in Ulxa, had called it whisper rot.
Whisper rot? Cool. I mean, not cool, but cool that I know.
Yeah, super sick.
That's what he is.
Yeah.
Sick.
Okay. So, Val, we have professors we can talk to. Do you guys have a store of herbs and medicines?
And then Val would know this as well. You guys do have like a that has, again, this is a nice academy that does have a lot of different herbs and plants. It's a massive greenhouse, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a greenhouse on campus.
Do I think I could find the correct herbs, or would we need assistance?
you aren't sure. You might have to do a little investigating, but
Cool. Okay, well, let's get a move on.
yes, I'm staying here, obviously, but
Right.
you guys know where to find me, and obviously, please, looks at Val, don't let people know about Thell's condition. If we can find a way of fixing him and hopefully keeping him under the radar, whoever did this to him doesn't have to find out. So
Right.
Mhm.
Should we? Well, I think we'll keep his letters and the sword in Val's bag, if you don't mind.
yeah, I mean, I have no use of them, so
Okay. Just so nobody who comes looking for something will find anything.
okay. Please be safe. There's a lot going on right now, so
Thank you. And you too. I think I'm concerned that he was attacked to be in this state, and we don't know if he's even left campus.
yeah. I mean, I haven't even done that much investigation, but I mean, when I was inside when he made his way here.
Right. Okay. We should be back soon.
Okay. If obviously if you need anything, please come find me. But it's getting dark, so just be careful. And you guys are able to make your way out. Cold air hits you guys again as you guys make your way out. Do you guys head to the green?
I think so.
To the greenhouse.
Very cool.
And I mean, during the walk, I would fill both of them in on, I mean, what I do know about the Children of Mercy. And while he has been out of the group or I guess not necessarily out of the group, but he left the group a long time ago. Knowing the violent nature of the group, there's a good chance that he was part of a killing or an assassination or a whatever event against a group or people that may have finally caught up with him.
Oh, so maybe it wasn't this group. It was another group that this group wronged.
I think
Um,
that's what I'm leaning towards.
or it could
what
be
I
his old group being like, "Why'd you leave?
Right.
Yeah, but I think
Come back."
if his old group, I mean, they're definitely not good people, but it's a very coordinated, but not necessarily organized organization. There's not
An
like,
unorganized organization.
yeah, like they're good at what they do, but the hierarchy of like a country is not, they're not. I also don't know of them being on this, the west side of the world at all.
Yeah, because also a little bit of insight of what like Pierce would know. The group is like, mind you, this is obviously something that would pertain to like Ulxa only. The group was like 15, 20 people.
Small group.
Mhm.
What did they specialize in?
Maraudi.
Cool. So not covert, not high priority targets. Very much to be paid and live.
Yeah, like Pierce would know they're not like an assassination hit squad.
Great.
Okay.
You guys make your way. As you guys start nearing the school itself, the glow of the lanterns that are all over the school start illuminating a little bit of the way, and you guys are officially back on school property. But you guys make your way to the greenhouse. This one is off the edge of, again, these massive buildings. And as you guys approach it, you guys don't see anybody at this point. It's already nighttime. And it stopped snowing, but there's still a pretty heavy chill in the air. As you guys go to this greenhouse, everyone is, I think Val's the only one that isn't shocked by this, but the greenhouse itself is massive. Like the actual top of the greenhouse probably reaches 2 to 3 stories. It's like a 1-story building, but it's just the actual, it's like high ceilings. And as you guys go, like even from the little bit that you guys can see through the windows, you can tell that there's like actual trees in there as well to accommodate. And that's why the building is the size that it is, to accommodate these like massive trees. But you guys go to get the door and it is locked.
Hey,
What to do tomorrow?
what's that over there? And I point away from the door.
Does he have to
Over
roll
where?
deception? To see if we're tricked.
I would like
get
to.
us.
I would like to pick the locks.
Go ahead and roll a thieves tool check.
Thieves tool.
How do you
Are you
roll that?
are you proficient in thieves tools?
I don't think so. But my sleight of hand is +5.
Go ahead and do +5.
Yeah.
Is there a thieves tool?
There
This is the
is,
first
yeah.
time we've done that.
Mhm.
But
It's-
where would it say? Oh, like under proficiencies and training and then tools.
Yeah. That is a dirty 20.
Dirt 20 easily. One of your claws comes out and you're able to, and you guys hear the latch of the door come open and you guys are able to walk in. As soon as the door opens, warm air just hits you like immediately, and it feels humid and a little muggy, but it is a nice reprieve from the cold outside. And you guys head in. And again, the actual building itself is massive. Like this is the largest greenhouse that Buka and Pierce have ever seen. But you guys look around and thick foliage. It honestly is hard to see the other end. Part of it because it's dark. Because the actual building from one end to the other probably runs 200 feet.
Ooh. Nice.
And then, like I said, it's like a 2.5, 3-story tall, like high ceiling building, all glass, all this dark, almost emerald green glass. And there's just heavy foliage. As there are obviously smaller plants and herbs and things that you see, but there are also a few trees that you can see that go incredibly tall and just heavy foliage everywhere.
Does it look like there is a shed or maybe even like a classroom area, since this is a school, that there could be a directory of plants in the greenhouse?
I'll go ahead and roll an
A what?
investigation.
It cut out. Thank you. 17.
17. You know that there isn't quite like a like in this area of the of the greenhouse, but a lot of the greenhouse is separated by type of plant, and there is towards the entrance, because you guys kind of came from the back door towards like the front, there is a like, I guess kind of like a directory that would kind of show you at least what areas have what or types of plant, like more
feel like-
medicinal, more something.
Yeah.
A good greenhouse would have scientific name of all the plants
And their
common
uses.
name, and their uses probably.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I guess the directory is in the front. Should we make our way that way?
Yeah, let's head that way, but it's not really a directory. It's more of like an area where they hold like apothecary classes and stuff, but we can see
Oh.
what we can find.
Right. And then as we're going, I want to check signs. That's we're making our way that way.
Do we
signs.
know what we're looking for?
No signs. I would know if I saw it.
There's like 100 different, hundreds of plants on this thing.
Yes.
So the hard part is, Buka, you know it by sight. You do not know by name.
Right. So we just need to look at
Can you
the
describe
medicinal
this plant?
area. I could insert description here.
Okay.
Via,
Let's head to
via
the
Dungeon
You know,
Master.
one of the things is a root of a plant.
Mm.
It's like a big leafy plant, but the root specifically.
Right.
And the other one is a type of yellow moss.
Perfect. So we're looking for a yellow moss.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So let's find that one first. The next one we're looking for is, well, technically we need the root. And the plant itself is really leafy. The leaves don't really look like a heart, but it kind of looks like a heart.
If I close both of my eyes, it looks like I got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You said the root of a plant that's leafy. Got it.
Right, and the leaves kind of look like a heart.
You look around.
You know how many leaves are in here?
You look around at this dark building, just leaves and plants everywhere.
Right. We try our best.
Our best isn't good enough. This is gonna kill him.
Only if we don't find it.
Oh my god.
Cast light on my sheath again. We have to start.
I cast light on the sheath.
As you cast it, the glow illuminates a little bit. Pierce, you can see a lot better now, because the only light really coming in at this point, like obviously, like you could see some stuff, but most of the light coming in was from the lights outside that were reflected in. But now this, the sheath illuminates again. But as the light is cast out, nearby, maybe about 20 feet away, you hear this sword being pulled out of its scabbard. And that is where we're going to end tonight's session. Cue the music.
You're going to kill us. And Thell.
We're going to find out.